This is what this video is going to be, I guess. Just sitting in here talking about nothing. Why not? Okay. How's it going, everybody? Welcome to another video after some time has passed since the last one. I do have a lot that I want to talk about revolving around my absence and some other stuff that's been going on that you might be interested in. So to start, by the time you're watching this video on the day that this video is going up, September 13th, it is my birthday. And I do this thing every now and then. Okay, bye Gizmo. He sits down for the video and then immediately is walking away. For the past couple of years, I've kind of done this thing where I will sit down and kind of think about where my head's at over the course of a year or so. And I'll admit, the last year's video, it didn't look very great, honestly. So over the course of this year, since the recording of the last video, a lot has happened. I've gone through a lot. There have been a lot of current events that have happened, especially here in the United States. And it's caused a lot, it's caused me to do a lot of thinking, really. A lot of thinking, a lot of unpacking of emotions, a lot of unpacking of stuff that might be going on in my stupid bald head. I started off this year thinking I'm gonna do something, pretty big and pretty cool, and I'm gonna do a video every other week. And for the first couple of months of 2025, I actually was holding that schedule down pretty well. I was able to pump out videos at a relatively regular pace of relatively high quality until I just kind of hit a breaking point. It wasn't so much burnout as much as it was I just want to make my videos better, Which is a fine thing to want, but ultimately, it just kind of made myself eat away at myself, at my own creativity, stuff like that. Didn't help that at the time when I stopped doing the videos bi-weekly, I was trying to get a more regular job out in the real world, and that didn't go very well at all. There's an entire story I could tell about that, but I will save it for a different time. So I'm bouncing around a few jobs before I go back to the coffee shop that I have been working at for the past few years. And so that point in the year was kind of like the deepest level of the spiral until eventually I just kind of was fed up with a lot of stuff. And then because I was fed up with a lot of things, I was watching way more YouTube than I usually do, which I already watch a lot of YouTube, and I was watching even more. And I came across a few videos talking about hope and the systems that we live in and what social media has turned into and what it does to our brains. And I came to the conclusion after watching a lot of this stuff, just like the system that we live in right now is engineered in such a way to make us upset and make us hopeless and make us not want to engage with anything, really. Because if you don't want to engage with anything, then things won't get better. You're basically a pacified person, and anyone with any modicum of power can easily take advantage of that. They can sell you supplements, they can sell you courses, they can make you believe stupid shit that you wouldn't believe otherwise. They would just ultimately lead you into a negative, spiral, you know what I mean? And I definitely recognized that I was falling into that pitfall before I, thankfully, found a much brighter side of the internet. And eventually, it's just like, hey, if the system, if the people in power want us to be miserable, want us to be pacified, want us to be, non-combative, doesn't that mean that hope and, being happy and helping other people and generally being a positive, influence on the people around you, that's an act of defiance, right? You're being a rebel by doing that. Hope is punk, which is a really bizarre thing to think about, and that is kind of how I've been molding my worldview and my life and my emotions over the past few months. And doing that is very fucking exhausting. I'm just exhausted all the fucking time, it turns out. And I'm exhausted for a wide number of reasons, obviously. the state of the world right now, the fact that I had to pinball between 3 or 4 different jobs before eventually just putting my tail between my legs and going back to the original job that I had, the fact that, you know, anytime I try to break into any sort of tech or IT field, it just fills me with a sense of dread and uneasiness. It's not exactly a hopeful thing to get into tech these days, especially if you were trying to get into fucking AWS. No, thank you. No, I do not want to be a part of that. Last year, I just felt lost, and I felt pretty hopeless. And I've been feeling pretty hopeless ever since then. And that feeling kind of hasn't gone away, you know, entirely. I'm not exactly a super bright and cheerful person, but I am working on it, and I definitely feel better than I did last year, which is definitely an improvement. And you'd be surprised to hear this, but feeling pretty hopeless and feeling pretty, like, dire, like, at all times, really isn't conducive to output of creative works here on YouTube. I would look at every project that I was working on and I would just pretty much only see the flaws. I would see only things that I need to fix rather than a piece of work that I'm creating, right? And just to a certain extent, I still kind of feel that way. I mean, there's a lot I could say about the fucking lighting of this scene right here. Like, there's issues with what I'm doing here. And so hopefully to help curb this feeling of dread and perfectionism, I went and I purchased this little guy. This is a Canon FS30. It is a camcorder from 2010, and this is going to be what I make my videos with. I'm still probably going to use this webcam here and there. I might still use my phone camera, but for the most part, most of the video footage that I record is going to be on this guy. And I'm not doing this just because, oh, you know, old technology, you know, haha, but it's meant to add sort of a little bit of texture and a little bit of imperfection to my videos. Imperfections that I can't really get rid of, you know? Because, okay, let's take a step back real quick and let me explain a little bit of my, like, inside baseball, like, negative mental health spirals. Let's say I'm working on a video and I decide to use a DSLR camera. And I decide to set up the lights, I decide to do a weird camera angle that I've never done before, and I decide to dabble in a little bit of color correction. A little bit of color effects, little touches here and there just to make the video pop a little bit more. Dude, doing color work on a video, it drove me fucking insane. Like, professional colorists, dude, I can't even begin to imagine how much thought and care and attention goes into the smallest of things in any feature-length film. Like, it's fucking insane how complicated color work can be. And then, you know, another aspect of video is, you know, the audio, obviously. Normally I record with this microphone. It is an MXL 990. It is a very good microphone and one that I've been using for a long time now. It's served me really well. Let's say, for example, that you are testing out a new microphone setup with a Rode lapel mic that you have in this like $15 plastic thing so that you can, you know, wave your hand around and talk into the mic and do all kinds of like physical bits during a video. And you do all these physical bits and you're talking with the microphone in your hand and you think it's going really well in recording, and then you get back to the editing suite and you listen to the audio. And the audio sounds fucking terrible because it turns out that this lapel mic right here has like an auto gain feature, and I had no idea that it existed, and I have no idea how to turn it off because this thing doesn't have a screen or like any real buttons or anything, and I'm sure that there's an app I can download and I can do all that stuff there. I'm sure someone in the comment section might even comment about it, but I'm not downloading a fucking Rode app to make a microphone work. I'm just not gonna do it. And so you have this miasma of only flaws that I'm looking at, and the flaws are driving me fucking mental. And the project essentially becomes an albatross around my neck, and it becomes this project that I just can't really overcome. You know what I mean? But I have good news. I'm going to release that project anyway. It was supposed to come out this week, and it just isn't. I have no good excuse for that. It's just not coming out this week. I wish it would, but you know, whatever. The week's already over by the time you're watching this. But I will still do my best to get the video out as soon as I can. There's retraining your own thought processes and rebuilding your like outlook on life that you have kept relatively consistent over the past 28 years, it's pretty difficult to change that. And I have to do a lot of mental gymnastics in a way. I know mental gymnastics is usually kind of phrased in a negative light because like it kind of is a negative thing, but you do need to like stretch and train and like actually perform the things that you want to change in your life. You can't just say like, oh, I want to start feeling better about my own insecurities, and then it just magically happens. Like, you need to actually do stuff to like really get over your own insecurities, and that's really fucking tough to do. I'm also kind of unpacking this thing where I might have something called ADHD, and it makes unpacking your own thoughts a lot more difficult because you have to deal with you have to deal with autism. You have to deal with the struggles with that. You have to deal with ADHD. I'm unmedicated, by the way. No fucking way I can afford medication. Jesus Christ, not in this economy. So you take these two things, and then you add the third part that is unmedicated part, and you mash it all together, and just, it makes it act in a different way than what you would normally expect with either of them separate, right? And so I'm unpacking a lot of that stuff. I'm unpacking a lot of my own foibles mentally, and I'm trying to work my way through those. And then I'm also trying to rebuild my own outlook on life, like I said. And there's a lot of stuff in my head that just makes me so fucking exhausted all the fucking time to where I don't want to work on videos. This is kind of a rambly video, and I'm kind of looping back and circling around on things again. I don't have a script. This is just like a minor birthday update video. I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna title this video. Maybe I'll title it Hope is Punk. Sure, why not? But yeah, this ultimately, if I were to compact everything and compare it to what I was feeling last year, I do think I'm getting better, but it's very slow going. And I don't think burying myself in work and burning myself out and making, shoddy videos is going to fix anything. So what I'm trying to do is change up my approach on things and make videos with an emphasis more on the imperfections of the creative process, right? And also, I'm still obviously going to be talking about Linux. The next video is about Linux. I've got some more stuff revolving around cool computer stuff that I'm working on. I have a few other projects here on my desk that are unfinished still, because of course they're unfinished. And I hope that reframing everything with more of an emphasis on allowing the imperfections to go through, hopefully that will allow me to make videos at a more steady pace and not feel a total fucking anguish every time I hit the publish button. And also, I kind of want to extend that goodwill over to you. I want to try to encourage people to create things. I want to try to encourage people more to actually work on stuff and be creative and be a part of a community, a part of the internet and all that fun stuff. Because, ultimately, that is defiance right now. Remaining hopeful, remaining optimistic, remaining creative. So I'm trying to give you sort of the same optimistic outlook, and I'm trying to be more optimistic here on this channel and try to be a little bit better about that, Oh, and also, I got a job. So, another factor of this thing of me not having enough time to make videos is the fact that I'm actually editing for another YouTube channel, which you can see the thumbnails of right here. I'm editing for a channel called Rael the Protogen. Some of you I know here are furries, because the Linux community and the furry community, they overlap quite a bit. So you might appreciate his stuff if you are a furry. If you're not, go in there with an open mind. I'm mostly working on the gaming side of things. I don't really touch the VR chat stuff because I got some insane fight or flight editing the first video for the channel that I did anyway, and it was this one for VR chat, and dude, culture shock is the term that I use to describe this video and my experience editing it. But the other two videos that I helped create are the Delivery Pals video and the Skate Horse video. That's what it was. I forgot the title of the game. I'm not bullshitting you when I say this. I think the skate horse video is one of the best things I've made in a while. And even if you aren't a furry, you might enjoy the skate horse video, right? So go there, show support for Rael, because the support for him is support for me, and you know, all that fun stuff, because I am officially getting paid to edit YouTube videos, and that is awesome. So there's a lot happening. There's a lot happening. So I'm thankful that I'm given this opportunity, and I want to try to be better, you know? And I am very grateful to everyone who has stuck around and waited through my schizo episodes and me fucking breaking down and leaving and not doing anything for months at a time. I want to specifically thank everyone who is a member, who was a member, who has even commented on a video or liked it or shared it or any of that stuff, because it really does mean a lot, and it really does matter to me as a creator. And it's a tricky thing, right? It's hard for me to show my gratitude, right? It is difficult for me to say these words, and I'm working on it. I'm practicing that by being grateful to everyone who watches this channel. So, you know, maybe one day things will get better. Maybe one day we can all be more optimistic. Maybe one day we can make videos and have a good time and kiss and make up and all that stupid shit. What am I saying? Anyway, thanks for watching this video up until this point. I promise that there will be a real video coming up soon. I just hope that I can wrangle my own mental illness for a little bit and channel that energy into actually working on shit. Doesn't help that one of my friends got me into Magic the Gathering recently. I started playing Magic, and this game is good, but it is very expensive. So, hey, if you would like to support my unhealthy coping mechanisms for life, why don't you go drop a membership down underneath the video? Why don't you subscribe? Why don't you share this video with your friends? Why don't you... Fuck. Thanks for watching. I'll see you hopefully soon. I have a lot of ideas. I really want to get them out, so I'm gonna try my best to do that. Have a good one, everybody.